It seems like just yesterday I was sharing the news of a state lawsuit against Activision Blizzard for some truly heinous acts. There have been so many updates and public events that have happened since then, and things are not good for Activision Blizzard in the slightest. I'm going to make a separate video focusing on the state of their games, which are virtually at a freeze or standstill when it comes to development, as well as patches, updates, or any kind of support, because, well, nobody wants to work for them currently. They have been literally hemorrhaging World of Warcraft consecutive players to Final Fantasy XIV or any MMORPG that these players can cling on to, including Amazon's Prototype, which are virtually slaying 3090s. And you might be like, well, they're safe, Kevin. They host all of the Call of Duty studios, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games. They are under that umbrella. However, the consensus is that umbrella is ripped, torn, and has many holes in it, and these studios aren't getting any warmth or dryness under there, so they're probably going to jump ship extremely quickly. Then we have the gums of greed, Bobby Kotick flapping in the wind, saying some of the emptiest, most ridiculous statements, even when his head devs, top brass, and executives in his company are blatantly speaking out against him. He is still fighting to keep his head above water, to stand atop the empire of skill-based, well, actually, engagement retention matchmaking that he has built. So I know that was a pretty gloom and doom intro, but that is literally the story. That is literally the life of Activision Blizzard right now. Shit is not good over there. So things haven't been good for their development house, but then on July 20th, the state of California Department of Fair Employment and Housing did it says years long, it's a 2-year long to be specific, investigation that turned up stories of multiple women, well over 100, I think it's around 120 or so, suffered daily harassment and abuse. That's physical, verbal, and sexual harassment, by the way. They don't go into too much detail in this article. Working at Activision Blizzard. Just to put this into a little bit of context about the seriousness and whatnot, one of these female employees actually committed suicide at a company retreat retreat event, I guess you could say, as her male coworkers were sharing pictures, nude pictures of her, lewd, inappropriate pictures of her. Now, I shared this news when it first happened, when this lawsuit was filed by the state of California. I did 2 videos 2 days in a row as we got some more information and whatnot. However, a lot has happened since then. Since that has been filed, the fallout has been widespread, with former and current employees stepping forward to share more stories of abuse. Male employees talking about the stuff that they witnessed to their female coworkers. So this isn't just some, there was 1 or 2 females that, there's 1 or 2 females that never got picked for a promotion because their work was trash. So they decided to make a false claim of sexual harassment or something. This is hundreds of women and men. This is hundreds of female and male employees, all basically solidifying this entire lawsuit, which has been a 2-year behind the scenes investigation from the state of California's Fair Employment Department. So they talk about Afrosabi over here, who still has characters ingrained into the World of Warcraft, and he basically continued to work for the company even after there were multiple sexual harassment cases against him. Basically solidified the top brass. The executives knew what was going on and were like, fuck it. He does a good job. He programmed real good on the World of Warcraft. Destiny 2 maker Bungie Software, who was partnered with Activision Blizzard for, I want to say, 4 or 5 years, working on several projects together, including some of the Halo and Destiny projects, made a bunch of statements saying that they pretty much knew what was going on. Several of the statements that we're hearing is that this is how their company has operated for decades. And there were some very honest, heartfelt responses from some of the major employees over there at Activision Blizzard. For example, the ex-Blizzard boss, Mike. I hear you. I believe you. I'm sorry to hear that I've let you down. Diablo co-creator Chris says, we failed and I'm sorry. To all you at Blizzard, those I know and those who I have not met, I offer you my very deepest apologies for the part I played in a culture that fostered harassment, inequality, and indifference. So both of those are pretty heartfelt, genuine statements. And then you get Bobby Kotick. And then you have Bobby Kotick, whose recent statements have kind of changed tone a little bit. His initial statements were actually attacking the state of California, particularly the Department of Fair Employment that was that had been basically conducting an investigation behind the scenes for 2 years, saying that they were unwarranted and going to the public with this information. They should have came to him first, probably so he could grease a couple of pockets and whatnot before it became public. Was basically belittling all of these claims and trying to defend his bacon a little bit. He's got a lot of extra bacon, but he was trying to defend every bit of the pork, so to speak. Now, from what I've read from his recent statements, they seem a little bit more genuine, but to be 110% honest, considering he went far and left the first time, it kind of seems like this is just damage control or just a PR shield for him, so he doesn't get, you know, reamed and basically have to step down as CEO of Activision Blizzard, which, by the way, he is savagely overpaid. And the reason for that primarily would be him and 3 other gentlemen that work at Activision Blizzard fired over 100,000 employees around the holiday time, and each took some nice bonuses along with that. So that's cool. But what has actually been happening to Activision Blizzard as a company? Well, for example, employees have been doing walkouts where they literally protest in front of the building and don't work for hours or even the entire workday. So who's developing new games? Who is updating? Who's delivering patches for like Warzone and stuff like that? Nobody. That's who. And by the way, if you're thinking, well, I'm a dude, all right, I got a burrito, not a taco. None of this applies to me. Actually, a lot of men were getting sexually harassed there as well. Let's go ahead and touch on that. Touch on the news is what I mean. Unwanted shoulder rubs, being propositioned for sex, sexual harassment within their first day, and even a game around the office where men would try to grope one another's genitalia. So fully equal opportunity with their harassment. And then you have Senator Palpatine over here, or Bobby Kotick, with that's a smile. That might look like a smug smirk. That's a smile. That's what you're going to get out of Bobby Kotick. Now, this is one of his more heartfelt and genuine statements, not one of his, you should have came to us first so I could have slid a little stack of pape in your briefcase. I want to recognize and thank all of you that have come forward in the past and in the recent days. I so appreciate your courage. Every voice matters, and we will do a better job of listening now and in the future. Yeah, because the whole listening part there, these allegations were getting reported for years. That's why this investigation started 2 years ago, is that there have been sexual harassment complaints that were never reprimanded. And then we have some of the Blizzard devs, you know, posing with a poster of Bill Cosby in a booze-filled meeting place. I will have this article as well as 2 or 3 other quite current articles around the situation linked in the description below. Again, I'm going to make a separate video, pardon me, focusing on the condition of their games. Their 3 major franchises would be Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. I know, 3 completely different titles: MMO, RPG, mobile, and first-person shooter / BR. All kind of in the toilet right now. Nobody's flushing or wiping either. It's bad. It's bad. It's not good. Twitch streamers and devs help Activision Blizzard walk out with boycotts and money. Even Ubisoft screams from the hills. They have a culture of abuse. So all these other development houses that have observed from afar, or even when they collaborate on a title, you know, obviously they're going to have some of their developers go into their headquarters, into their actual physical building, and they probably see a lot of what goes on, you know? And then one of the worst moves that they've done is Activision Blizzard hired a union-busting firm as workers start to come together. I'm just going to pop this article up. This will also be sorted or sized down. Source or cited down there. But more or less, let me just summarize it for you guys. They were trying to force unionize a lot of the employees, basically to keep them quiet, more or less, is what I gathered from this article. As you can see, there's some pretty highlights on here. I was actually initially going to make a video completely about this article and never did. So all in all, things aren't great over there at Activision Blizzard. In fact, I would go as far as to say they're quite bad. But I mean, when you do years of sick stuff, eventually it's going to catch up with you, and that's kind of what's happening here. I don't think anybody's truly going to be missing out if their company were to just dissolve, which I don't think is going to happen, by the way. I don't think their company's going to completely crumble to dust or anything like that, especially not overnight. But even if they did, I don't think any gamers are really going to be hurting too bad. They haven't been producing any good games for about 4 to 8 years now.
I've been saying for years, probably about a decade, that Blizzard is a shit company that I'm not a fan of. Not to wiggle my finger and say I told you so, but for a long time I think they've just been a horrible company. They have not been that golden age Blizzard people like to pretend that they still are. This is a company known for spontaneous layoffs without warning and other horrible business practices. And you remember Warcraft Reforged? Like, it is a company that is so far out of touch and so corrupt that it's gross. And then they merged with Activision to form Activision Blizzard, and it was like the Power Rangers coming together to make a megazord of pure filth. It'd be like combining dog shit and horse shit and then creating the ultimate pile of shit, which is Activision Blizzard.
All right, spicy take. That had me sweating there. Like, subscribe, share with your brother's mother's cousin twice removed, buy some merch in the store, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.